In today's video, I'm going to be telling you how stress and your adrenal glands affect your thyroid function. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why your adrenals have a direct connection to how your thyroid is functioning and why you need to be addressing both your thyroid health and your adrenal glands at the same time in order to get symptom relief from hypothyroidism. So let's get started right now. What's up? My name is Melodye Reynolds, founder of MelodyReynolds.com, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here and you're looking for things like biblical encouragement, tips for taking care of that temple of yours naturally, and specifically how to get symptom relief from hypothyroidism, then go ahead and start right now by subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell so that you never miss another Tuesday or Thursday video upload. So the first thing we probably need to acknowledge is that if you've been fighting and dealing with hypothyroidism for any length of time, you already understand that this is a complicated disease and there are many pieces that go into this puzzle of recovering your health with hypothyroidism. So one of the pieces to the puzzle of getting your life back, getting your thyroid to function again, getting your health back, getting your energy back, getting relief from those symptoms is you have to address your adrenal glands. So we're going to talk a little bit about adrenal fatigue today and cortisol. So stress, adrenal glands, and cortisol all goes together. Let's first talk about how that works, and then we'll talk about how it relates to hypothyroidism and the symptoms that you've been battling. So your adrenal glands are two little kidney-shaped glands that sit in your lower back, and they are tiny but mighty. So your adrenal glands are what produce cortisol. So when you are in times of stress, let's say what they were originally designed for. So let's say that you're being chased by a bear. So your brain perceives a danger, your adrenal glands kick in, and it gives you an extra burst of energy. It raises your heart rate. It's what's responsible for helping you to make fast decisions. And it helps you to decide if you should fight, flight, or freeze. It's what gives the superpowers to those people that you hear that do these amazing things in times of great stress, like lifting a car off of a kid. That's how powerful that cortisol and your adrenal glands and that whole fight or flight thing is. And that is good. We want our bodies to do that. We want our bodies to protect us. I know that when I had a wreck back in 2019, one of the things that I noticed is that my cortisol kicked in and it made everything slow down. I could tell that my brain and my body were protecting me from the danger that was about to come because we were in a head-on collision. We were about to hit another vehicle head-on, and my brain saw that before I even could think it. My brain perceived it, my adrenal glands kicked in, and everything slowed down to help me kind of have time to brace for the impact, to know what was going on. So it does some amazing things for our body in times when it's needed. Now, here's where the problem comes in though. Unfortunately, in this modern day and age that we live in, we are in a constant state of stress. There's really not a lot of time to just pause and put out all these little fires that are going on in our lives. And we seem to have relentless demands. We want to do all the things and be all the things for everybody and help everybody and do everything. And there's just a lot of pressure on us. So you get the point. We live in a very stressful time. We're always connected. We never make downtime, except for those of us who now do it intentionally because we are fighting for our health. And so chronic stress causes your adrenals to put out cortisol all the time, and it keeps you in fight or flight mode. Now, stress doesn't always mean bad things are happening in your life. It can be good stress or bad stress. So good stress might be your child is getting married and you're helping with the wedding. You got a promotion and you got a new job, but it's very stressful because you're figuring out, how everything works. Good stress can be getting a new house. Then you have other things like the not so good stress. So work, you've got a stressful job. You have stress at home. Maybe your marriage is having trouble. Maybe your kids stress you out. Maybe you've got some special needs children and that gives a whole different kind of stress. Maybe your house is a mess and you just need to clean it up. Which, if you need help decluttering your home, I have a whole course for that. I will link it below this video. because that was one of the things I did back in 2015 that helped clear out a ton of stress for me. Maybe you have financial stress. That is huge. Financial stress will weigh on you all day, all night. It will keep you up. That's a huge one for a lot of people. That's also why I help people to start businesses and work from home, especially moms. I have a heart for helping moms to work from home, be with their babies, and make a good income. And if you'd like to learn more about that, there will be a link below. If you are sick, so having hypothyroidism is gonna make you stressed out because it has a slew of symptoms. It makes you feel horrible. You don't have energy. You can't take care of your family. You can't take care of your spouse. You can't work like you used to. So that's going to inevitably stress you out. If you have a family member that's ill, that's also stressful. Low blood sugar is a stress on your body if you're not eating the way that you should be. Stressing your body out. Food matters. You're not sleeping, which guess what adrenal fatigue does? It makes you not sleep. If you just feel overwhelmed because you have too much on your plate, all of these things going on, you may have probably more than one of these going on any given day. All of these things contribute to overworking your adrenal glands. So they're putting out cortisol because everything is perceived as a stress, and you're in this high stress, high fight or flight mode all the time. You're wired and tired, you're stressed out, and your adrenals start to then get fatigued because they just cannot keep putting out cortisol with no consequences to that. So then what happens is, now we get into the thyroid part. Your adrenal glands and your thyroid are best buddies. They hold hands all the time. And you remember when you were in elementary school and you held hands with your best friend and you're skipping along and you're having a great day, but maybe your best friend falls? What happens? She drags you down and you fall too, right? And you're both in the dirt and you both got skin knees. If you've had a lot of trauma as a child, which that's my story too, then that really puts you in that fight or flight mode pretty much throughout your entire life. You get used to being in fight or flight mode when you're in these scary situations as a child, and then as an adult, you don't have the coping mechanisms to learn to deal with your stress. So that's what happens with the adrenals and the thyroid. When your adrenals get overworked and they start to get fatigued and they're constantly pumping out that cortisol, so all of that cortisol starts to build up in your body and your body responds by getting inflamed. And when the body starts to get inflamed, it starts to trigger the thyroid, and the cortisol starts to trigger the thyroid to slow down, to stop working so much, to go in conservation mode. Because what happens when you're in danger, your body wants to conserve energy, it wants to conserve fat, it wants to conserve all of its resources because your body is amazing. Your body wants to do what it needs to do to help you to live. So when it perceives a danger and a threat, which that's what the adrenals is telling the thyroid all the time, oh, there's a stress, there's a danger. Then the thyroid goes, oh, we got to limit our resources. We got to slow that metabolism down. We got to hang on to this fat. We got to start making brain function go down. We got to drop that menstrual cycle. We got to stop thinking about sex because your body goes, okay, what do I need absolutely to survive? And it goes down to that minimum. And that's why you see things like the weight gain, the extreme fatigue, the low libido. Your hair starts to fall out because you don't need hair to survive. So your body is doing what it was designed to do, which is to help you to live, to survive. So as you can see, the adrenal glands and the thyroid have a direct connection. And so when you are working on your thyroid health, which is what I teach here on my channel, are ways to support your thyroid naturally, to get it to not be so stressed out and get it working some on its own. Although I will say I'm an advocate for the right kind of medication, and I have a video coming about the wrong kind of medication and then the right kind to take, because there's nothing wrong with taking hormone if you need it. And by the way, if you don't want to miss any of the videos that I do here or the blog posts that I do over on MelodyeReynolds.com, get on my Thyroid Overcomers email list. It's totally free. It's just a way for me to go, hey, I've put out a new video and here's some information that I want to share with you. I will link that in the description below this video. And so while I'm teaching you about thyroid health, one of the things that I teach you, one of the strategies to help to support your thyroid naturally is to work on your adrenal glands and to work on lowering your cortisol. So there are some symptoms to look for that can indicate that you have adrenal fatigue, but the problem is, the tricky part is, They also cross over with hypothyroidism symptoms, which if you would like to know what all the symptoms are of hypothyroidism, then I did a video all about that I'll pop up here, and I will link down below in the description for you. You can check out. There's a lot of symptoms for hypothyroidism, and I told my story and what my personal symptoms were, but you will find that adrenal fatigue and hypothyroidism have some of the same symptoms. So listen to what some of these symptoms are. If you're overweight, hello, that's hypothyroidism. So if you gain weight, especially around the middle, oh, aren't we lucky? When we're hypothyroid or have adrenal fatigue, we get that spare tire. And weight loss is nearly impossible. Like it doesn't happen. You have difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. So if you wake up frequently at like 2 and 3 a.m. every single night, that's your adrenal glands. That's your cortisol. Poor immunity. So if you get sick at the drop of a hat, that means your adrenal glands are just completely stressed out. Chronic exhaustion, depression, and anxiety are huge for adrenal glands, especially anxiety. If you are having panic attacks, if you feel anxiety all of the time, it could be that your adrenal glands are stressed. If you're irritable, if you're very short-tempered with people, I got to the point where I was just, I would snap and I wouldn't be able to control myself. That is another indicator. Episodes of low blood sugar, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. If you have memory problems, difficulty concentrating, brain fog. If your periods start to be irregular or missed, I started missing periods. I was told I was perimenopausal. Got all of those back once I started getting my health back in check. It can also cause infertility issues. So if you're having some issues getting pregnant, you got to dig for the root cause, and it's not always a hopeless situation. You may just need to support your adrenal glands, support your thyroid, and things might just work out for you. And then one of the symptoms listed from adrenal fatigue is hypothyroidism. So it's a direct connection. But I just want to give you a few tips right now because you're probably like, okay, that's great. So maybe I have adrenal fatigue and maybe I have hypothyroidism. But just to give you a few tips on this video of very simple things to do to start working on your adrenal health. And there will be more videos coming from me all about how to support your adrenal glands naturally, because I've learned how to do that myself. Also, I'm going to be showing you how to test your cortisol and the best way to do that at home yourself, so that you know what times of day or night your cortisol is high or low, and you can use certain supplements and adaptogens to then raise or lower your cortisol to get it leveled out and make it raise in the morning and lower at night so you can get up and have energy and go to bed and sleep. Before I give you those tips though, I have a quick question of the day. Do you have any of the symptoms that I've mentioned in this video? And if you do, how long have you had them? So tell me your symptoms, tell me the things you're dealing with and how long you've been dealing with that and how it's affected your life in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Okay, so just a few tips to get you started today, or get you started thinking about it today anyway. Start becoming aware of what's stressing you out. What are your triggers? Is it your job? Is it some relationships in your life? Are you overwhelmed? What are the things, what situations, what things, what people stress you out? Pay attention to those, because I'm going to tell you to then address those issues. So now number 2 is to identify the areas of your life that need your attention. Do you need to start saying no? Do you need to start telling people no to certain things because you just can't do it all? If you need help with learning how to say no and do it respectfully and in a way that it makes people actually feel good, there's a video right here that I will link in the description below where I talk about how to say no without really saying no. It's kind of a cool way that you can learn to say no that doesn't offend people. So you've got to start clearing some things off of your plate, and then you've got to start being intentional about dealing with your stress. And I used to always hate when people would say, well, de-stress your life. And you're always like, well, that's great. Yeah, de-stress my life. Okay, I would take all the stress out if I could. But if there are things that you can change them. If there's things that you can't change, then change your attitude about them, your perception of them. And then implement things like deep breathing, taking long hot baths at the end of the night, taking a walk out in nature. Small things like that will go a long way if you do them daily and make them sort of a habit. they'll go a really long way to making you feel a lot better. Another thing is to keep that blood sugar balanced. Make sure you're eating the right foods at the right times of day in the right combinations to keep your blood sugar balanced out so that you don't get shaky, you don't start sweating, your body doesn't get into that panic state and push out even more cortisol. Also, you want to heal your gut. Gut health has a tremendous impact on your thyroid health, your adrenal health, and your body overall. Most of us with autoimmune issues suffer from leaky gut, and then that causes all kinds of inflammation in our bodies, and that causes the whole cycle to start repeating again. So look into ways that you can heal your gut. Videos on that will be coming to this channel, so be sure that you have subscribed so that you get notified. And you can use adaptogens, so certain supplements that have certain herbs in them that will actually support your adrenal glands and help you reduce that cortisol, which then helps your thyroid to be a lot happier. I will be doing another video on that soon, and when it's here, I will link it in the description below. So if you don't see it, it means I haven't done it yet. But go ahead and check for it, because as soon as I get it done, I'm going to put it in the description for you to make it easy for you to find. Check out the playlist and video that I've linked here for you. I think that you'll be interested in those. And if you want to learn more about natural wellness and thyroid health, start now by liking this video, sharing it with somebody who needs it, and hitting that round subscribe icon that you see right now so that you don't miss a thing here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.